As a patient advocate, I'm excited about the potential of AI in healthcare. I enjoy following Dr. Castro on LinkedIn.
Accurate early disease detection, groundbreaking.
This technology promises a future where care is customized to each individual's unique health profile. Keep up the good work, Dr. Castro.
Yes, predictive diagnostics within reach.
Thanks to innovation in this field, personalized healthcare is becoming accessible to all. I'm happy to see that Dr. Castro wrote the first book on ChatGPT and healthcare back in 2022.
No more injuries undetected.
Hi, as an AI researcher, I collaborate with medical experts, like Dr. Castro, to develop technologies that predict health risks, personalize therapies, and support surgical procedures. Our aim is to leverage AI to not only improve health outcomes, but also to save lives.
VideoGen AI medical imaging transformed.
The new iPhone 18 will leverage small language models. I am excited to see what applications Dr. Castro will create. He has several Apple Vision Pro applications out.
All right. Well, welcome. I wanted to say hi to everybody, and I always start that video because it's make sure everybody's started and hear you that we're starting. And then the second part is I find it pretty darn funny using AI to kind of intro AI. And so today, let me take down this banner starting soon. Sorry, let me. It goes. I guess I'll let Brooks find it. There it is. Found it. And so today I want to go over the big problem of our email and big picture. It all started with both of us looking at our inboxes thinking, hey, did you get this email? Hey, I did. Hey, it's in spam. And we were kind of going crazy. And I call myself the nutty professor. I'm always kind of thinking of stuff. And then Brooks is doing the same. And then we're emailing each other back and forth. And we thought, okay, we need a better way to help manage all our emails and our ideas. So we came up with different solutions. And then we started, as you know, all of you guys get the same issue. We started getting these, I call them book emails from different people. And then I would put it in my favorites and I would tab them like, oh, I'm going to read this one later. And I thought, okay, this list of emails is getting longer and longer. And I really want to read this email because I know it's got some good information. So then I started creating tabs on my email account of just emails that I'm supposed to read one day. And it's probably going to take like probably a month of doing nothing but reading through those emails. And I thought, okay, this is not being productive. And I really want to get through these emails. And so then Brooks and I, being that we're working on AI and we live it and breathe it every day, we thought, what can we do to solve this problem? What can we make this issue a little bit easier for both of us? And so we came up with this idea of this email concept, and that's literally what we're about to show you. So big picture, I want you to take a look at it. We are about to release this to everyone. What I'm going to ask everyone out there to do is we'll drop the link on the chat below, but it's basically go to our gptpodcast.com. On the top right, you'll see a subscribe button and just subscribe to it. And as soon as we go live, we're thinking the next 72 hours we will. At that moment, you'll get an email saying, hey, we are live. And so you can take a look at it. So Brooks, I'll let you introduce yourself and go from there. And then he's going to share his screen and we can kind of start off so we can kind of show you the interface. And then I'm going to log in here in the chat. So if you guys want to start asking questions, feel free and I'll be looking at the chat.
Okay, so yeah, the gptpodcast.com is where you can subscribe to that. All right, so what we have here is a spreadsheet, essentially, what's going on. And this is coming from a person I don't really like spreadsheets to manage things. However, our inboxes start to get pretty unwieldy, and I started thinking about what was the easiest way that we could get emails to some place where things made sense to us. So what we've done is we've created ourselves an inbox, and any email that we send to this inbox shows up in this shared spreadsheet that we have between the two of us. And not only does it show up in this spreadsheet, but it also does a bunch of really interesting things. So it will take the body of the email and summarize it. And it's a pretty long, so I have it kind of zoomed out, but I'll zoom in so it's easier to read. It creates a summary of the email. It takes the key points of that email, puts them in a column. if there's any action items that are associated. Then it grabs the sentiment of the email. Was it negative? Was it positive? Was it neutral? If it's positive, it's green. If it's neutral, it's gray. And if it's negative, it's red. Then we added this thing that we created a little while ago called the decision matrix. And what this is a grouping of different ways of looking at problems. One is a first principles thinking. Another one is using a principle called Occam's razor. Another one is pros and cons, 80-20 method. And it just keeps going. And what we started realizing was this quickly allowed us to sort these emails by the things that were the most important to us, the things that we needed to take action on. Or if it was a really long email, what was the essence of that, and were there any attachments associated? So then it creates this second column here, or this last column here, that will pull out any attachments that are associated with that particular email.
And I'm just going to add, basically, when you look at this, we spent a lot of time on the decision matrix, especially. We actually, before the iPhone had the GPTs, we had this out there for patients and people that were looking at making critical decisions and how to do it. And we spent a lot of time just developing just that one area we call the decision matrix. We made it fun. I put stuff in there as what would Steve Jobs have to say, using him as an avatar. And in the business world, we always talk about SWOT analysis. So we added the SWOT analysis to it. And I thought this is a great way, because the AI is going through the email and looking at it and saying, of all these things, what can I give you feedback? And to me, it's all about perspective. If these decision matrix can give you different points of the same email, you're thinking, oh, wow, I hadn't thought of that angle. The other thing people have asked me is like, hey, Harvey, why didn't you just put a widget inside my email and it does it on everything? And honestly, Brooks and I hold privacy really, really high. We want to make sure that you're in control, that you're the one that's deciding, you know what, this email, I'm fine with having this done. That way, you're in control. And in the future versions, we might have another addition for that. But for now, we think this would be the easiest workflow so that you're comfortable with sending things. At the end of the day, there's a lot of controversy like, hey, it's my data. Where's it going to go? Is ChatGPT training their data set on my data? And so in this way, you, again, are in control. As you know, we all get spam email, and there's stuff that you're like, I really don't want to forward. So then, again, you're seeing which are the things. And with future generations for working this product, we got some really fun ideas coming. So, Brooks, is there anything you kind of want to highlight on this?
Yeah, so going back to this again, so the way that this works is if you were to sign up for this application, you'll get an email back, and that email back will contain your particular spreadsheet that is only yours, and the email address that you can forward emails to. So again, anytime you forward an email to this, then it goes and it adds it as a row in this spreadsheet. So for instance, this was a pretty long email about addiction-prone personality, and this gave some really good key points about what was found and what was indirect, right? And it allowed us to quickly understand, really what we needed to do with this. And then, coming back over to here from a decision perspective, I'll zoom this out a little bit so it's easier to see. But it also gives us a nice little chart at the bottom here. It really having these good, solid action items, understanding where things were coming from, really helps us to quickly identify. And that's really just what I wanted to highlight, just the ability to quickly identify things that are in your inbox, things that are important, and things that you really need to focus on.
And so the other thing is,
go ahead.
No, you go ahead, bud.
I was going to say the other things that this can start to tease out is if you forward over potential sales leads, it will start to do research on the individual that you forwarded. And as we start to add on to this and we start to add these new features, there's a whole other slew of things that will happen in the background before it even gets added to the spreadsheet to make it even more impactful.
For me personally, obviously I'm biased when I say this. I have a lot of features in this that I really enjoy. For me, I really enjoy looking at the sentiment of things. I'm always speed reading. My wife gives me a hard time that I miss the point on a lot of emails, that I'm just going through too quickly. And it's nice to be able to forward this and being able to see that green or that red or that neutral color, knowing that, hey, that there's some negative aspects, or there's a negative tone to it, or no, there's actually some positive or neutral. Because, example, I may have read something like, yeah, I never saw any of the negatives, and then the thing that was forward shows red, and I'm like, oh wait, it's flagging some things, and then it's showing me, okay, wait, these are the complaints, these are the issues, and it's okay. The other thing that I personally liked about this is having the ability to, what I call, send these books and emails to myself, and that I love the people that are sending me tons of information, but that's the thing, it's just so much, and I want to be able to get through it all. So having the ability to forward that quote unquote book that I call it, and have it analyze and tell me, okay, here are the core portions of this. And then talking about future iterations of this, things that we're able to do now, just being able to go through it. So let's just imagine I forwarded 100 emails, and I know it's about, obviously I'm into AI, and so a lot of these emails are about AI. And one of those emails, I remember briefly talking about one of the AI models. Now I can do a search function inside that spreadsheet that will find that particular portion that is talking about that. And now I can take it to the next level. And so being able to manipulate your data, I think it's just huge. Now, Tara, thank you for joining. I'm going to read her email real quick, and I haven't even looked at it. Let's see. It says, I use cold email campaigns in my business, and it works amazingly well, but I can't keep up with the email load that comes in. My pain point is having time to get through replies to emails while keeping them interested and converting them into clients eventually. Brooks, what do you think?
Okay, so there's a module that we'll be adding onto this, and it is a sales agent module. So right now, the one that we're showing is just the email summary agent. So anytime you send an email here, it goes to that summary. Right now, this one's just called ideas. Anytime you have a new idea, here, I'll pull this back up here in a moment. When it shows that, it shows that it's actually an idea. And when you have the idea, the agent's specifically tuned for ideas. So here's this. And the very bottom here is where it would have ideas. When we start adding on our additional features, there will be additional tabs here. So if you have an email or a series of emails, or you need to blind copy this particular agent on one of those emails, you can do that. So if it's a sales email and you need to forward it along and you need to make sure you get a good response, there's a new column that will be added on column J here that will specifically have different types and styles of replies. The one that we think will be the best reply will always be at the top, but below that will be different types and styles of replies for that particular email, to meet the exact goal of being able to quickly respond to email. Now, initially, it will be a manual process where it shows up here, but a feature downstream will allow it to automatically send the email downstream if you like the types of responses that you're getting. We like to have control over things, so we very much, throughout the process, we like to have the human in the loop interaction where you have that manual perspective of, I like this email, this is what I'm going to send along.
Yeah, and I appreciate you saying that. And I want to echo, we've been working really hard on the current response. Being a doctor, I'm really into the science and the psychology. So what we've been working in beta testing for that column is already having some psychology behind it. Obviously, if you're into sales and you're selling X, Y, and Z, you want to have what's called matching. If you're getting an email that's very professional and you're replying very relaxed, it's not matching. So we have created the prompt in the way, for one example, would be that it replies in that same manner. That way it mirrors the same. As far as the psychology, we've added different parts of the prompt so that it marries that email correctly. I'm envisioning companies that have linked this to their online reviews. And so say company X or Y gets a bad review on whatever, then to be able to handle that correctly and what to say and how to say it is so important. Again, my favorite part that I say over and over, it's having that human in the loop, having you look through and saying, you know what, that's now how I want to represent the company, or actually it's maybe point 2 and 3. These are really good points and I will use that. Or to Brooke's point, you may just say, you know what, this is great. I'm fine with it. I'm going to use this one. And then it sends that as an automatic reply. As we move forward, at the end of the day, our goal is to serve you. How can we use these tools to best help you with what you're working on? For Tara, she gave us a great example, but there might be another vertical in that in healthcare. We may not be able to use this for HIPAA reasons. So then we would have to convert our tool to make sure that's HIPAA compliant. So as we start getting different feedback, we're going to ask you to tell us and we'll add it. I'm glad that the gptpodcast.com is at the bottom. I'm going to remind everybody, when you get a chance, just subscribe. It's free. And then we don't spam. We don't send tons of emails at all. It'll only be for important things like this when we go live.
All right, and then just to go back to this one last time. So the other couple of things that we'll be adding. So the one is the sales agent. The next one will be a research agent. So anytime you so maybe you get an email from somebody new or someone you're not familiar with, you forward it on to that particular email address, and it will pop in to the new tab here, research, and then that email will pop up, and then it will do all the research that it can based on the email address that it finds. So it finds that person particularly on LinkedIn, it will summarize information about them. If they have a blog or any blog posts or any press or anything that would show up on a particular a regular Google search, we would show that here as well.
Now, I'm a really visual person. I love images, and I created an AI healthcare course about 1.5 years ago, and every chapter has a mind map. It ends with the mind map. So what we added, or we've been beta testing it, he and I, is that mind map. So could you imagine getting this huge email, don't know where to start, but then if you look at the mind map column and then seeing an image of saying, okay, this email, the topic is AI. In here, it has another box that shows healthcare, and in there it's showing clinics, and in there it's going to show doctors and patients, and you're like, you can visually look at them and be like, got it, I see what this long email is. There you go. Thanks for sharing that. And so that would be what we've been working on. And I really love this feature. Again, I'm biased in that I love images, and I think this would be a great quickly to be able to see all the emails and scan them and like, okay, got it. And then for presentation purposes, there might be an email. One of my friends showed me a email that he gets about AI every week. And I thought, man, if he forwarded to this and he made this, it would basically summarize all this AI newsletter into a mind map. And then in theory, you could use that for a PowerPoint right from the email, just forwarding it. So thanks for sharing that. Let me share another question. Thank you, Tara. She says, most founders have VA to handle their email. So having something like this would help me and other founders utilize their VA for other tasks, which would be amazing. Well, thank you, Tara. I really think so too. I think this email, oh, Brooks, you got to show the image that you made, the Wrangle, the email, if you have it on you. I really think that really summarizes well what we're doing, putting it down. Now, Nikki came up, and let me share her point. Nikki, thanks for joining us. She says, I love mind mapping features. I do too. I'm biased. I think it's a good way to give you a lot of information in short time. Some of us are visual learners. Some of us are auditory. I know in Brooks, eventually I could see him creating a widget where you hit play and then it's reading the summaries to you, and it could be different voices out there. So yeah, please keep adding any questions you have, any features you'd like to see. Again, we feel comfortable enough to have this product out there, but Brooks and I are OCD in that we're always trying to make it better and better and better. So this feature will be out here in the next 72 hours or so. And once it's out, we'll email you. So make sure you subscribe to the gptpodcast.com.
Well, and I was just looking, I thought maybe you did a post recently where one of your talks was in a mind map. And I was just looking on your LinkedIn and I don't quite see it. But if you have that image,
yeah,
I thought that was a good one to share.
Find it. Yeah, let me see if I can find it real quick. And then speaking of using mind maps, some of the audience will appreciate this if they're using it. I went ahead to memorize my TED Talk and look at my TED Talk. I converted my entire speech transcript into actually I have it right here, if I can. I converted it into a mind map. And so what I did is I would put the topic and then, oh, you can't even see it, but no worries. Let's see if I can get closer. No, I will scan it and then put a picture. But the skinny is having the topic of the TED Talk and then the subtopics and then the bullets of every topic that I talked about in my TED Talk. And it was a quick way for me to memorize and look at this and look at the flow and say, yeah, I like this or didn't like that. And in theory, now I could just forward that transcript to the GPT podcast server that we have, and then it would make that mind map for me. I'm trying to think, what else have I seen? I love the customer service idea. I think that'll be good. And I love that image that you made. Big picture. Yeah. What did you use? Was it Midjourney AI?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it looks very professional, and it truly encapsulates what we're trying to do. We're trying to wrangle in our inbox, and I think that's a great image to tell the story. So question for those that are out there, what kind of features would you like to see? What kind of some of the things that make you excited? And what are the things that you don't like or do like? We're working on this, and at the end of the day, our goal is to make it better. So any feedback, appreciate it. If you don't want to put it on the chat, that's fine. Then just IM me or text me directly. That'll work. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to say. The big picture, I'm just excited about all the renditions that we're adding. But with that said, I feel very comfortable to put it out in the world in the sense that I'm getting tons of people from our beta testers saying that they are enjoying it and that it is working for them. And so we got more stuff that we want to share as far as that. Should we talk about the AI agent as far as how to use this as a raft idea for the inbox, kind of in the future stages, Brooks? What that would look like?
Yeah. So every time you forward an email to this service, it will also save it in a way that can be retrieved later on. So there is some chat functionality that we've been building that can be layered onto this, where you can actually start to chat with your inbox and ask questions. Maybe you're looking for an email and you can't seem to find it. You do a quick query that makes sense, in the form of a question as opposed to some cryptic way of searching for something.
I agree. I get so much information, and I'm going to echo here. Nikki says, I would love to see the email spam filter to be stronger. Outlook is killing me with the junk mail that it goes through, and I agree. Brooks and I are always like, did you see that email? Oh, did you see that one? We're going back and forth, and it's kind of counterproductive. Our vision eventually would be to have our own inbox service that would come in and do all of that, and there would be no need for you to forward. But that would be something that we are going to have in the future. But for now, I think this is perfect because it's that balance of, we don't want to take over your inbox in the sense that it's your privacy. We want to keep sure that that is private and that you're only forwarding the items that you want to. I did speak to one of the beta testers, and she said she would love to create a rule in her email that every time person X emails her, it would automatically go to this service. And then that way, all of that person's emails, because she knows this individual is notorious for sending her book emails. This way, it's all going through the service. And I thought that's great, because that's another application that could be done.
Well, and the best way about leveraging services like this, so I don't know, I think we're really particular about the tools that we use, and it's always hard to migrate to a new tool, right? It's like everybody has a million apps on their phone, but if you look at the top 5 they use, more than likely it's none of the things that they've recently downloaded, because you're so used to using what you use. So leveraging your inbox for this way to interact with this made so much sense to us. So having the ability to leverage existing rules that already exist in like Outlook, for instance, it's really easy to just say that anytime you do get an email from somebody, forward it on to this email address. That way it pops into this spreadsheet, and you can always manage it that way. Really no need to add anything else.
I agree with that. Let's see. Nikki, chat with inbox. Are there any specific prompts to use to help the voice recognition software functions best? I don't know if I'm following the question.
Well, so we were just talking about the ability to chat with the inbox here eventually. Yes. So not only is it like a free form chat, but there's also an audio function where you can just sit there and talk to it. And talk back and forth to it. In fact, the other feature that that we've created that's in beta that we haven't not ready to release yet, but we will when we know that it's ready, is we have a phone number set up where you can call and talk to it. And the memory of that would also be from your inbox as well.
Yeah. So a lot of advanced stuff, but I think at the end of the day, what we showed you, I think that'd be the key. How can I manage these long emails? How can I go through it all? And then here's the beauty. Fast forward to 6 months, a year from now, you're like, oh my gosh, I got this email from Harvey. What was it? You can just go into it and say, okay, Harvey talks about AI and health. I want to know. And then it'll extract all the different emails that you forwarded and then give you that information. You'll be able to see it. So lots of fun ways to use this. Big picture, I think it's human plus AI, using your humanity, using your AI, putting it together and creating something unique. Tara already came up with some ideas how she would be using it. I know Nikki would be using it differently. And at the end, we're trying to create that Swift Army knife that does pretty much a lot of things, but then it ends up being you, the human. How can you customize it to meet your needs? So I think that was good. And then please sign up for our webcast, the GPT podcast, put their email on there. And as soon as we go live, we will send a mass email to everybody. And I don't have anything else. I just want to thank everybody for coming out and spending time and hearing about our new product that's hitting the market soon. So thank you.
Thank you.